Hey, Katrina, I'm so glad you finally married my son. Does that mean I can proudly say that you're my daughter-in-law now? Oh, you have no idea how happy I am right now.
Hello, Molly. Yes, it's true. I've recently tied the knot with Terrance, which means I'm officially your daughter-in-law now. I'm really looking forward to getting to know you better and building a strong bond as a family.
Absolutely, honey. Terrance has told me so many wonderful things about you. I can already tell we're going to have an amazing time together. Oh, wait. I almost forgot to ask about Suzanne, your daughter from your previous marriage, right? Will she be living with you and Terrance too?
Yes, she is. Suzanne and Terrance get along really well. I have a feeling they're going to be wonderful friends to each other.
Oh, really? I thought she would go back and live with her biological father or something. Maybe you can even get her an apartment to stay in. She's already 15, right? It's important for her to learn to be independent. Don't you think it's time to prioritize your own happiness instead of solely focusing on your daughter?
She's my daughter, and I feel the need to take care of her. Plus, it's not like she'll be with me forever. In just 3 more years, she'll be on her own. She's even made it clear that she wants to move out and live independently as soon as she turns 18. And I respect her wishes.
Wow, 3 years does sound like a long time, Katrina, but hey, here's an idea. As a caring mother-in-law, I'd be more than happy to have Suzanne stay with me and take care of her. And that way, you can fully focus on making a new baby with my son and enjoy that special time as a couple. It's a brilliant plan, isn't it?
Oh, are you sure about that? I don't want Suzanne to be a bother for you. You know, she's still a teenager. And even though I do my best to guide her, she can be a bit moody and rebellious at times. I wouldn't want her behavior to cause any inconvenience for you.
Oh, you better not underestimate me. I've raised a child of my own, so I've got first-hand experience with all of it. It's those crazy raging hormones, right? But don't fret one bit. I'm more than confident that once Suzanne is under my care, I'll work magic and set her straight. She'll transform into a true lady in no time, mark my words. And hey, now that you're my daughter-in-law, your child is my grandchild too. And you can bet I'll treat her just like one. Rest assured, I'll take good care of her.
I really appreciate your concern, but I'm not sure if my daughter is ready to live far away from me just yet.
Tisk tisk, that's not good at all. It's time to start prioritizing yourself, dear. After all, you're already in your 40s, and let's face it, the clock is ticking when it comes to pregnancy. I can't say for sure if there's still a chance, but if you act quickly, you might just make it in time to have a baby with Terrance. Time is of the essence.
Actually, Terrance and I have decided not to have any children together. I'm sorry if there was any confusion, but we've been clear about this from the beginning. We've made it known that having kids together is not a part of our plan. I thought Terrance had already explained this to you?
Wait, hold on a sec. You mean to tell me that you're not planning on having any more kids? How on earth did Terrance agree to such an outrageous idea? I can't believe what I'm hearing.
I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. As you mentioned earlier, I'm well past the ideal age for pregnancy now that I'm in my 40s. It wouldn't be the best decision for either me or the child if I were to have one at this stage in my life.
I know it's difficult for women your age to conceive, but it's not entirely impossible. Nowadays, with the advancements in medical technology, even an 80-year-old woman can get pregnant. Don't you think it's a bit selfish for you to decide not to give my son any babies? I can't help but feel you're just being lazy about it.
Molly, please don't accuse me. Terrance and I got married because we love being together, and that's fulfilling for us. Plus, we both have our own children, so we don't feel the need for more.
What on earth did you just say? I can't believe you'd think of such a wild idea. You two are married, and the only thing that really shows your marriage is having a child together. A marriage without kids doesn't hold any meaning. It's like a lifeless marriage. To make matters worse, Terrance doesn't even get to live with his own children. His ex-wife has custody of the child. He hardly gets a chance to see his kid. As grandma, It's so sad for me not to be able to live with my grandson under the same roof. It truly shatters my heart into a million pieces, you know?
Well, I'm sorry if you feel that way, but what can I do?
What do you mean, what can you do? The only thing that should be on your mind right now is getting me a grandchild as soon as possible. What's so difficult to understand, huh?
Molly, I've already made it clear that I don't want to have children. How many more times do I have to say it for you to get it? Having kids is a personal choice for women. It can't be imposed on someone. In fact, pressuring someone to have kids will only backfire and be unproductive.
I get what you're trying to say. You're asking for some time, aren't you? You don't want me to push you. All right then, take all the time you need. I'll be here waiting patiently like a cat watching a mouse hole.
Hold on. No, that's not what I meant. Molly, have you even read what I just said? Hey, Molly, are you there? Terrance, are you gonna do something about this?
Huh? What do you mean? Is there something wrong?
Well, yeah, there definitely is. I thought you had already noticed it. I mean, how can anyone ignore your mom's persistent calls and messages?
Oh, that whole situation? Yeah, I'm not sure why she's behaving that way though. One thing I can tell you for certain is that I have nothing to do with it. So please don't drag me into this. I'm already swamped with work, you know. I deserve some relaxation time at least.
I can't believe you just said that. She's your mother, not mine. And she's causing me a lot of stress. You really need to find a way to fix this, because it's not fair to me. Do you even realize that she constantly bombards me with messages, asking when I'm going to give her a grandchild? Honestly, it's incredibly rude and disrespectful.
What do you expect me to do, huh? Having kids and all that? It's more of a women's thing, not my responsibility. You should take care of it yourself instead of pestering me about it.
What do you mean by that? And why are you behaving like this? We both agreed that we're not going to have kids, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. I know firsthand how much of a hassle it is to raise a child, and I definitely don't want to go through that again. There's no chance in hell I'm letting that happen.
Great! It's about time we agree on something. If that's the case, why don't you do me a favor and explain it to your mother? Tell her loud and clear that we have no intention of having kids. It shouldn't be too hard to explain, right?
I already told you, I don't want to get caught up in these catfights. You both are capable women, so sort it out on your own.
How am I supposed to do that when your mom refuses to listen? Every time I try to explain to her that we don't want kids, she completely brushes it off and insists that I should do this and that to conceive. She even went as far as sending me a ridiculously long 12-page email expressing her desire for grandchildren. I'm fed up with her incessant nagging, Terrance. If you don't take action and do it quickly, I might have to consider leaving.
Wait, hold on. Give me a moment to think about what we should do. Got it. I've got a brilliant idea.
You have? What is it?
Just think about it. All my mom wants is a grandchild, right? So why don't we simply give her what she's asking for?
But how? Are you suggesting that you're gonna give in to your mother's demand and pressure me into getting pregnant or something?
No, not that. I'm not stupid. Listen, you already have a child of your own, right, Suzanne?
Yeah. So?
I think my mom is just feeling lonely and needs some company. So why don't we send Suzanne over to her place? Maybe that will make my mom feel better and she'll stop bothering you. Yeah, that could be a good idea. Come on, you know how much my mother adores kids, right? I can assure you that Suzanne will have a fantastic time living with Molly.
Well, I don't know about this, Terrance.
What's there to think about? Plus, we're going on our honeymoon trip soon, right? Please don't tell me you're planning to bring Suzanne along on our trip too.
Oh no, of course not. Our honeymoon is just for us. Suzanne won't be coming with us. But don't worry. I've already talked to my sister Ashley. She's happy to have Suzanne stay at her place while we're on our trip.
Hey now, don't you trust my mother at all? What difference does it make if we leave Suzanne in my mom's care instead of your sister's?
Well, I guess there isn't.
So it's a done deal then. Suzanne will stay with my mom during our honeymoon. I'll give my mom a call and let her know right away. I'm sure she'll be absolutely thrilled when she hears the news.
Katrina, please come home immediately. Suzanne just got hospitalized.
Oh my god, what happened? Is she alright now?
I'm really sorry. I did my best to keep an eye on her like you said. I went to your mother-in-law's house to see Suzanne, but she only let me inside a few times. After that, she started making excuses, saying she was sick or something and wouldn't let me in. Today, when I dropped by her place, I saw an ambulance leaving, so I followed it to the hospital. It turns out, Suzanne was the one inside the ambulance.
Oh no, my daughter! Is she okay now? What happened to her?
Thank goodness, she's doing much better now as per the doctor. It seems she fainted from being overly exhausted, and they're still observing her closely.
Overly exhausted? How was that even possible? She was staying with Molly. Hold on a second. Did Molly do something to my daughter?
I'm not sure, Katrina. Suzanne has just woken up, but she still seems quite weak. We'll have to wait until she feels better and ask her what really happened.
Sure, Ashley. I'm heading back home right now. Please help me keep an eye on Suzanne. Hello, Molly. How is Suzanne doing? I just got back from my trip. Can I come over to your place to visit her now?
Oh, Katrina, it's great to hear from you. I had no idea you'd be back so soon. Why didn't you let me know earlier that you were coming home earlier than expected? If I had known, I would have prepared a big feast to welcome you and my son back home.
No need, Molly. I just want to come over and see my daughter. Is she there with you right now? I really want to talk to her.
Suzanne. She's such a sweetheart, Katrina. I feel so lucky to be a grandmother to that little angel. The moment I saw Suzanne, I felt an instant connection between the two of us.
Stop the yapping, Molly.
Excuse me?
I'm asking you one last time, Molly. Where is Suzanne? Can I speak to her?
Well, that's quite rude of you, Katrina. Unfortunately, Suzanne is sleeping right now, and I do not want to disturb her rest. I can let you talk to her another time, though.
Really? Are you absolutely sure Suzanne is there sleeping? If that's the case, when can I come to your place to pick her up? I'm sure she must be missing her mother a lot.
Honestly, there's no need to worry about anything at all. Suzanne really enjoys living here with me. She truly does. I'm sure if you'd ask her, she'd tell you that she doesn't want to come back to your house ever again.
Is that so? But how can you speak on her behalf if she's still in the hospital?
Wait, what? What are you even talking about? Suzanne isn't in the hospital. She's right here with me. She's sleeping peacefully in her bed.
Enough with the charade, Molly. I already know everything. Every single cruel thing you've done. What you did to her is absolutely unforgivable. And mark my words, I will make you experience twice the suffering you put my daughter through. You despicable monster.
Hold on a second. What's all this nonsense you're throwing at me? Why are you accusing me out of the blue like this? I haven't done a thing to your daughter. I haven't even laid a finger on her.
Oh, really? Then why was she hospitalized for exhaustion, huh?
And how did you find out that she was at the hospital? Who told you? Wait, I know. Is it that brat Ashley? I knew it. I always had my suspicions about her. I should have been more careful.
If Ashley hadn't informed me, you would have completely hidden the fact that my daughter had collapsed, wouldn't you? Of course you would. Because you're the one who caused it in the first place.
Look, it's not what you're assuming, all right. Suzanne just had a minor flu. I didn't know what to do, so I called an ambulance and they took her to the hospital. That's all, nothing more than that.
Yeah. You just called an ambulance to have them take Suzanne away. But you didn't bother visiting her once at the hospital. I bet you don't even care if she's dead or alive. Do you?
Of course, I care about that little girl. I care about her deeply. But look at me, Katrina. I'm already in my 60s. I can barely walk around properly anymore. How do you expect me to show up at a hospital? And to top it all off, my son wasn't even here to drive me there.
All right. Enough with the empty excuses. Suzanne told me everything. You were mistreating her, both physically and mentally. You burdened her with all the laborious household tasks, but barely fed her properly. Some days, she could barely survive on just sipping water.
What? Suzanne told you that? You know that's all nonsense. I would never do such a thing. I'm just a poor old lady who needs a cane to get around. I wouldn't harm a fly, let alone abuse a helpless little girl like Suzanne. She's just fabricating these stories, I'm telling you.
Can you give me a single good reason why she would make up all those things?
Well, maybe it's because she's delusional or something. There must be some serious issue with her brain or who knows what. I mean, she's just 15. Every teenager at that age does something crazy for attention, right?
How dare you call my daughter crazy? It's actually you who's the crazy one here. Let's not pretend you're weak and helpless as you claim to be. My daughter saw you moving around the house without a cane. And you have so much energy that you even hit my daughter with a broom. Her body is covered in bruises. You know that?
That's not true at all. Oh, I remember now the other day. I saw her trip and fall down the stairs. Yeah, that must explain all the bruises. She's always been a bit clumsy like that, bless her. Look, why don't you try to think more rationally? If it's true that I did all those terrible things to your daughter, why didn't she say anything to you while you were away? And whenever you texted her, she always replied within seconds, right?
How do you know that?
Well, I just have this feeling, grandma instincts kicking in.
Wrong. You know exactly because you were the one holding onto her phone all this time. You took Suzanne's phone away from her the moment she arrived at your house. That's why she couldn't contact me at all. And those texts I received from my daughter's phone, they weren't from her. They were from you. You wrote them.
It's not true. You're just delusional.
Not only that, but you also threatened and manipulated her. You told her if she dared to speak up about what you did, Terrance and I would get divorced, and I would be devastated. Suzanne is a sweet girl, and she didn't want to see me heartbroken. That's why she suffered in silence and endured your awful treatment. I swear on my life, I will expose all of this, and you will face severe consequences for your heinous crime. Believe me, your punishment won't be a mere slap on the wrist. It'll be something that's gonna make you regret it for the rest of your life.
Hey, Katrina, you have no idea how furious I am right now. I can't believe you would dare to mistreat my wonderful mother. She went out of her way to help you with your annoying daughter. And this is how you repay her kindness? By insulting her?
What do you mean? I didn't insult her at all. I was simply speaking the truth about how she's been abusing and taking advantage of my daughter all this time.
Abusing? Are you kidding me right now? She has done nothing but care for your daughter this whole time. But Suzanne? She's an absolute nightmare. It's a good thing we came back earlier than expected, or else my mom would have had a heart attack because of that brat.
What are you even talking about? Suzanne is an amazing girl. It was your awful mother who exploited her. She made Suzanne do all the household chores and barely fed her. Suzanne told me everything. And guess what? Suzanne is in the hospital now. Doesn't that speak volumes about how your mom treated her?
Oh, Suzanne is such a fantastic actress, isn't she? Always playing the vulnerable victim when things don't go her way. I wouldn't be surprised if she called the ambulance herself just to seek attention. My mom filled me in on all the things Suzanne did while they were living together. Suzanne would constantly disobey my mom, spent all her time on the iPad without lifting a finger to help, and even stole things from my mom. Tell me, are these behaviors even remotely acceptable in any way?
I can't believe you're still blindly defending your mother like that.
Yeah, so what? She's my mother, my own flesh and blood. You and our daughter are nothing more than strangers to me. You know what they say, real family sticks together. Anyway, why are we wasting our time arguing about this? Just wait until Suzanne recovers, and everything will go back to normal, like it or not. Oh, and don't forget, once she's out of the hospital, both you and Suzanne better come crawling to my mom's house and apologize to her. Got it? Hey, Katrina, why haven't you made it back home yet? I'm starving over here.
Who cares? Figure it out yourself.
Excuse me? What's this attitude of yours?
Look around you. You notice anything different?
I see. The house looks empty. Did you kick that brat Suzanne out? That's a good decision.
Suzanne and I already left.
Wait, what?
That's right. I would be insane if I chose to stay with a mama's boy and his abusive mother.
You left? What about the house? Who will be responsible for the rent from now on? Who will take care of cooking and cleaning for me?
Oh, now you're concerned about that? I've been the one supporting you financially all this time because your salary barely covers the utility bills. I'm the one who paid the rent, provided food, and took care of all the household chores every day. And let's not forget that you've been relying on my mom to support your own mother as well, right? I noticed that too. But things are changing from today. I hope you enjoy living on your own.
I can't believe you're retaliating against me like this. What's the meaning of this? Just because my mom asked your stupid daughter to do some chores. She's an adult. She should be capable of handling such tasks.
What kind of chores could possibly lead a person to being hospitalized? Your mom was clearly abusing her, and she'll face prison sentence along with significant compensation.
What? No way. You're just making up lies after lies. You have no proof that my mom did that.
Don't worry about proof, because I have plenty of it. Your mom has confessed to her crime. You can talk to the police for further information if you'd like.
She did? The Molly I know would never do something so foolish. Absolutely not. Listen, Katrina, I'm not sure what kind of misunderstanding is happening here, but I can guarantee you that my mom is the kindest person on earth. She doesn't deserve to be in prison. Please, if someone has to go to prison, take me instead. I'm willing to go in place of my mother.
Oh, is that so? You know what? Your love and devotion to your mother truly touch me, almost bringing tears to my eyes. And for that, I'll grant you a small favor.
What is it? Did you reconsider your decision?
Kind of. Listen, if you obediently sign the divorce papers I left on the table and agree to all my post-divorce terms, I'll withdraw my police report. I won't pursue legal action against your mom anymore.
Really?
Yeah. So, how does that sound? Do we have a deal?
Fine. I'll sign them and send them to you. Tell me your address.
Nah. I'll arrange for someone to collect the papers from you. I prefer not to share my new address, especially with my ex-husband.
All right, suit yourself. Just don't do anything bad to my mom, please. Hey, you bastard. How dare you deceive me? Why in the world does my mother still have to go to jail?
Oh, that. You see, I didn't lie to you. I said I'd withdraw my police report, but I wasn't the one who filed it in the first place. Ashley did. So there you have it. I always keep my promises.
You deceitful backstabber. You played me. And I also found out why my mom confessed to the police. You blackmailed her, right? You threatened to expose her dark secrets if she didn't tell the truth. What secrets could terrify her? How much do you know about her?
Well, you don't have to bother yourself with all the nitty-gritty. Just understand that your mom is currently in prison, and it's time you come to terms with this reality. However, don't expect to visit her regularly. That's not gonna happen. I'm actually a close friend of your boss, and after some discussions and considering your recent performance, she decided to transfer you to a different branch, and that branch happens to be Vermont.
What? Vermont? It's like being in the middle of nowhere. No freaking way I'm moving that far away from my mother.
Do as you wish. It's either that or lose your job. The choice is yours. Goodbye. Due to his lack of skills and experience, Terrance realized that quitting his current job would leave him with no alternative employment. Reluctantly, he accepted the transfer to the new branch in Vermont. Years later, A friend informed me that they encountered Terrance during a trip to Vermont. He had changed significantly for the worse, with a beard and lifeless eyes. Occasionally, he reached out to me, expressing longing and desire for reconciliation. He claimed he would wait for me indefinitely. However, I had moved on, finding happiness in the company of friends and family. Oh, I almost forgot to mention the secret that terrified Molly. I contacted Terrance's ex-wife and discovered one of the reasons for their divorce. Molly had been abusing their son. Fearful of Molly's threats, Terrance's ex-wife never reported it to the police. I promised Molly to keep it a secret, except that I would share it with Terrance and report it to the police. The police deemed it compelling evidence, leading to a harsher sentence for Molly. It seems like justice has been served. Don't you agree?